Champagne Showers body butter.
Champagne showers.
Champagne Showers.
First, I'm starting out with some indirect heat so I don't burn any butter or oils, and I go in with the mango butter base because it's a lot lighter and absorbs quicker than other butters. Since it's getting warmer outside, I'm adding in a little bit more beeswax so it doesn't melt during shipping. I start adding in 5 of our 6 oils that are good for retaining moisture, softening your skin, and giving you that glow while still having a lightweight feel. I give this a stir as they're still melting down, then I just let that sit on the stove for a few minutes. Then I remove it from the heat so it can cool down for a little bit. Once this mixture gets about room temperature, I add in some arrowroot powder, which is great for preventing that greasy feeling with the butter and maintains that lightweight feel. I also add in a few drops of vitamin E oil, which is great for antioxidant and skin healing. You don't want to add these ingredients too early because in extreme temperatures it could ruin the quality and the properties of them. This recipe is all about texture and temperature, so if even one of them is slightly off, it could alter and potentially ruin the entire recipe. Once I've refrigerated the mixture to let it solidify and then get back to room temperature, I start chopping it up so it's easier to blend for the next step. I add in the vanilla and coconut fragrances and just fold that in there so it doesn't splash when I start blending everything together. Again, this is a texture and temperature thing with the recipe, so if the mixture is too cold, it'll be more difficult to blend, and if it's too warm, then it might go back to liquid form. I keep blending until I feel like I've gotten the right texture, and even then, I always go back to double check and make sure I didn't miss any chunks. I did find a little bit, so I went back and gave that another blend before I moved on to the next step. Once I got it to the right texture, I add the butter to the piping bag so I can start putting it in the jars. Whenever I fill up the jars, I always make sure I tap them on the counter to avoid any spaces, any gaps, or any air bubbles, and to make sure that each and every customer gets the most out of each jar. And if there's anything left over, I always make sure I make samples. I'm just repeating those steps again, making sure every jar gets filled to the top. Once the butter settles into these containers, we'll have our highly sought after Champagne Showers body butter.